caught a few snippets of Conan O'Brien at the Oscars last night. Didn't watch much, but I've always loved Conan. I think he is one of the funniest people in recent times. I think he's definitely like my comedic idol. Um, I think he's so funny because he's so clearly empathetic. He's so clearly connects to people really well. The reason I can tell that he's empathetic is because he has a really great sense of self-deprecation. His A lot of his humor comes from making fun of himself, and making fun of yourself means you're comfortable with yourself. He has the wherewithal to sort of see himself as other people see him because he's empathetic. I saw this interview with him a long time ago, maybe 5 years ago, that stuck with me. And he said this. He said, "I'm a hopeless romantic, desperately trying to be cynical." Which, you know, that what he means is like he's in love with the world. He's just sort of like a golden retriever and sees the beauty in the world and is desperately trying to build armor against it, but can't, right? And like I believe that because he's such a finely tuned sense of humor that it's clearly a bit of a defense mechanism. It's a way of keeping the world at bay just ever so slightly. He's just so smart. He's so witty. The jokes, he can be like a little like, lowbrow, but like sometimes, but it's like it's always in a really classy, smart way where everyone else is kind of in on the joke. I mean, I've seen him like really needle people and really work people down, like if you've ever seen the Jordan Schlansky skits. But he's just like, I think he's like the best, one of the most powerful comedy minds like in recent times. I mean, Harvard Lampoon guy, I think he was like the president of the Harvard Lampoon. I think that's what they call it, like that comedy society. And then SNL writer, probably in the 80s, and then was on Simpsons, wrote like some Simpsons. And some people even credit him for sort of shifting the way the Simpsons would go on to be written. And then obviously, an incredible TV host for like 20 plus years, late night host. But yeah, I just think, it's just that style of comedy, smart, it's from the heart. Like if you ever saw him, like when a guest, I used to watch him all the time. Like if there was a guest who was sort of fumbling or their joke didn't fall flat, he would always like make fun of himself. He would shield them. He would kind of jump in front of the train and make it about him and like do some weird joke with his tie or like his hair or like his, really great physical comedian. And like it was selfless, it was generous. It was like, it's there's like just a kindness and like an intelligence to his comedy that I've always appreciated. And I think it's an art form that is kind of dying. Like, sort of podcast bros. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anyone. I don't. There's no one in particular that I'm thinking of, but like where it's not really there's not really jokes. It's maybe kind of just saying something that's sort of, maybe not totally acceptable to say, or like, oh, look how risky they are by being that. But there's no real creative joke underneath what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? Like that style of comedy, it's like about views, it's about getting in trouble, kind of, but like the art of actually crafting a really funny bit or a really joke or a really good joke is not there. This was really long, but anyway, I love Conan O'Brien. I think he's great, and really smart move for the Oscars to bring him on because I really think he's awesome and he's like the right voice for now.